Welcome to the Leading Self and Others podcast. I am Venkatesh, your host. Today we are talking about leadership, which is a familiar topic, but we are talking about it in a slightly different way. I am talking today with one of my favorite leaders, Mr. Lee Cockerell, who has held management positions with Hilton, Marriott, and the Walt Disney Company for several years. He is the author of 4 books, namely Creating Magic, The Customer Rules, Time Management Magic, and Career Magic. Yes, Mr. Lee, we are glad to have you today and just can't wait to hear from you.
Well, thank you. Good to be here with you.
Great, thank you. Thank you for joining with us. Your experience do matter, and we are really privileged to have you in this podcast.
I've been to India before.
Oh, great.
Enjoyed it very much.
Fantastic.
It was a long time ago. I was living in France. So it was back when we opened Disneyland Paris back in the 90s.
Oh, that's fantastic. Great. So definitely things are changed here. As you could see, there are many developments when comparing with your last visit and with now. Yeah.
Sure.
Great. So to begin with, please tell us about your leadership journey with Walt Disney Company.
Well, I started college and didn't do very well. I was not a very good student, so I went in the Army. And then when I got out of the Army, I took a job with Washington Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C., and I took a job as a waiter. And then I got promoted into a management training program, and I worked for Hilton for 8 years in Washington, Chicago, New York at the Waldorf Astoria, Los Angeles. I moved around a lot, got a lot of promotions, and then I joined Marriott Hotels and I stayed with them for 17 years. I became the vice president of food and beverage operations worldwide. And then I got recruited by Disney in 1990 to go to France and open Disneyland Paris. I stayed there 3 years, and then I came back to Orlando where I ran Disney World operations for 10 years. And then I retired, and I now have a consulting business. I write books. I have a podcast. I have an academy. It's a membership academy for leadership management and customer service. And I do a lot of speaking, so I keep pretty busy.
Yeah, you are a quite busy person. Definitely, your decades of experience is really something we really look forward to gain some wisdom from you. Okay, so coming back to your Walt Disney Company experience, what was that initial leadership position you handled there, and how did you picked up yourself for your first leadership role?
Yeah, I got leadership roles at Hilton and then Marriott and then Disney. And I particularly like to study leadership and management. It's interesting to me. And so I read a lot about it. I go to seminars. And so they picked me to run all the operations at Disney. And I have 2 things that are really helped me dramatically. Is first, I have a very good attitude. I'm easy to work with. I also am very reliable. I'm very organized, credible. I keep my promises. I have a very good system for getting everything done that is required of me. I have a very good day planner system that I use to remind me to do the right things at the right time, like connecting with you today at 9 o'clock. And I just got better and better at it, and I learned about expectations for working with somebody else, we would have a lot more success. So I think a lot about using empathy and discipline when I'm leading, and to be fair and firm, not to be liked, but to be fair and firm, just like your mother. That's how I learned. I keep learning. I learn best on the job. I learn by doing. Not so much in school, but I learned by doing. And I've had a lot of exposure. I've been to 45 countries. I've done work in 45 countries. I've been all over the world. I have a lot of experience, and I really work on educating myself every day by reading, going to websites, by listening to podcasts, by talking to people. So I tell people it takes experience, education, and exposure to be successful. And so that's really the formula I use to develop myself. And I think being very reliable is a big deal. When I tell you I'm going to do something, you can be sure I will do it. And people trust you.
Yeah.
And you gotta have trust.
Yeah. Doing what you say is the first step towards trust, I believe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, listening to your initial journey, it looks like you are not a so-called gifted leader who knows everything and jumped into a leadership position. You are someone who developed. Yeah.
Yeah, I learned slowly. I never had any. I didn't even know or have any goals to be a leader. I just, I grew up on a farm where you work hard from the time you're small, and I always had jobs. I had a strong work ethic. So every job I was given when I was starting to go to work, I just tried to be better than everybody else. I worked harder. I was more reliable. I had a good attitude. I kept learning. And next thing I know, I got promoted again. So I would tell people being reliable and credible and keeping your promises and continuing to educate yourself is really important, especially today. With all the technology changes, all the information, the world is changing rapidly. And so I try to keep up, and I try to keep learning, and I try to have a good attitude, and I try to, when I'm working, hire the right people around me. And that has worked pretty successful.
Yeah, great. The key word from this conversation is reliability. So, regardless of being a junior subordinate or you being an supervisory role, you must be someone who can be reliable, right? So, yes. Could you please give me an event or an incident that helped someone to trust you? Yes, you are the person whom I can rely on.
I'm reliable like your mother is. When you need me, I'm there. If I need to get involved to help you, I will. I tell people the truth. I don't, if they have problems, I talk to them about it, straightforward. I help them with whatever they need to get better. And I follow up, and I would say that people trust me because I do what I say I'm going to do. I'm very straightforward with you. When I tell you something, you can depend that I'll tell you the good. If you're doing a good job, you'll hear from me. If you're not doing a good job, you'll hear from me. And I focus on helping people get better. And because I watch their performance, I might send them to classes. I might send them back to college. I might have a hard conversation with them. I might send them to give them the right resources to get better. I do whatever. Just again, I say, just like a parent, just like a mother. They want you to be successful. They want you to be safe, and they want you to be educated. And that's what I focus on: safety and education. And without education, there's not many opportunities. And we know that around the world. The uneducated have a difficult time because the world is getting very complex. And if we can improve education, we're going to improve people's lives and their children's lives. And that's how I think about it. So if you're doing a good job, you're going to like working for me. If you're doing a bad job, I'm going to help you get better.
As we speak on leadership, currently the personal development and other self-help books that comes from many authors, it's all about me and me. Okay, but leadership is something people-focused, people-centered, right? So, what is your take on that?
I don't think it's about me. It's about me using my influence, my position, my authority to help other people get better. And, when I have children at home, it's not about me, it's about them. And I want them to be successful. So I have to show empathy. I have to show discipline. I have to have difficult conversations with them. And I would say my goal is never to become famous. Famous people, it's all about them. I have no desire to be famous. I have no desire. If you ask me what I want to be remembered for, I want to be remembered as a teacher, not as a boss. as a teacher, because teachers make the difference in everybody's lives. Mothers are the best teachers. And then, then we have other people at work, people who send us to training programs. We get our education. They tell us the right way to do things. Teaching is the name of the game. When you teach people, they appreciate you. They have faith in you. They trust you. And when you're the boss, people don't usually care about you. When you're autocratic, or you try to scare people, or you use your authority in a negative way. I never do that. It's just, that's how I feel about it. I try to use my influence to get people to be better. And so, we all have influence. Some people use it well, some people use it badly. And you know who those people are in your life, and I know who they are in my life. And I don't want to be a person who makes somebody's life worse. I want to make their life better every day. And so a lot of people have anxiety and depression. A lot of people don't believe in themselves. And the leader, the mother, the father can help you believe in yourself by giving you recognition, encouragement, helping you, assisting you, building up your self-esteem, your self-confidence. And that's what we should do. A lot of people could be more successful, but they don't believe in themselves. They don't realize what they could do. When I was 20 years old, I knew nothing. And 35 years later, I was running Disney World. Wow. So I learned along the way. But if I'd have kept, 20-year-olds, you don't know too much, but you can learn, and hopefully have somebody who tells you the truth about what you need to do better. Because a lot of people don't tell the truth. Mothers tell the truth, but not always bosses. And so that's some of the ways I think about it. I know what my job is to make more leaders. My job is to make more leaders. Yeah.
The objective is not to create more followers, rather it's leaders.
Be humble. Humility is important, and to be nice to people.
Great. It's actually quite eye-opening for youngsters here to understand and realize the difference between achieving a common vision and chasing fame. So that's a great lesson for us.
When you become a big deal, don't. Don't try to be the center of attention. No, make your people the center of attention, just like your mother. And she worked hard and she got results. Yeah. So, you're gonna get results. And it's not easy. It's not easy to have hard conversations. It's not easy to make hard decisions. There's a lot of sacrifices to helping other people, but it's satisfying.
As you were saying the term mother quite often, I could relate in one of my leadership teachings in the earlier days. I was a firm believer, I'm still a firm believer in leading without title. So when people asked me to give me a fine example of how do you lead without a title, I just simply point out a mother. Okay, a baby, a child and baby truly doesn't know that actually the title called mother, but still that child trusts her mother. The child relies on her mother. The child follows her mother. So it is quite inspiring to learn from you that you are using lots of analogies that related to mother.
I mean, they are good role models. They set a good example. Frankly, you would be nothing if it wasn't for your mother. And that's where you learn the first 10 years, that's where you learn your values, how to treat people, be honest. If you're in the right environment, you become better. If you're in a bad environment, you become worse. And so mothers hopefully create an environment at home which makes you feel safe. They focus on your education a lot, because that is the key. The more you know, the more you can do, the more you can be, the more you can influence other people. So I mean, mothers, without them, we would all be in big trouble.
Okay, great. I see you as a leader at home, workplace, and community. Name a few leadership traits that are common and yet challenging to follow.
Well, one is having difficult conversations with people. Most people don't do that because it's hard. I mean, when you think about it, nobody wants to sit down and have a difficult conversation because it takes time and it takes you got to use finesse and you got to hopefully have the right outcome and you've got to be consistent. You got to follow up over and over and over because only one conversation never worked. Like your mother has to tell you 10 times to do something sometimes. And so that is one that you've got to actually be committed. You've got to stick in there until you get the change you're looking for. And so I think doing hard things is the biggest problem most leaders have. They just don't want to do them. It's like exercise. Nobody wants to exercise because it's hard. Nobody, most people put off the hard things and then life gets harder. When you do the hard things, life gets easier. And we've got to all learn to take on those difficult responsibilities and help ourselves and help other people. Because if you just do the easy things, your life is going to get out of control. And your health is going to get out of control, your relationships, your learning. Learning is hard. To go back to school, to read every day, people don't do that because it's not fun for them. And you've got to get into a better routine, better habit. And because most people have habits of wasting time, doing things that are fun but not productive. It's about how you spend your time. Do you spend it like you spend your money? Do you get value out of it? How much time do you waste every day? How much time? Those are the kinds of things I think about every day. How could I spend my time better today? How could I, I exercise almost every day. Why? Because I want to stay alive. I'm 77 years old. I've been married 53 years and I'm in perfect health conditions. I weigh the same as I did 50 years ago because I watch my sleep, I watch my diet, and I watch exercise. So I know when you identify the things that will make a difference and start doing them, then you start to see a difference. But most people don't want to do those things because, hey, it's easier to lay on the couch, drink some beer, eat too much, and that next thing you know, you have problems. And life goes by quickly, goes by very quickly. I'm sure you're aware of that. So these are the things you got to be thinking about. How you use your time. Are you honest? Do you care about other people? Are you available for them? Do you listen to them? Do you help them? Those are the kind of things. It's very simple and it's very basic, but most people don't do simple things. They think technology is more important and all this stuff that and difference between management and leadership. Management's about doing things. Leadership's about being there for your people, being honest, being a person who can have hard discussions, being available, and a lot of people are doing a lot, but they're not being a lot. And we always know our mother will be there for us. I don't think workers know their boss will be there for them. They don't trust them. So there's the problem. If they don't trust me, I cannot get the kind of results I'm trying to get. I can't get the commitment. I can't get the productivity. I have high turnover. I have people not caring. So it's a pretty simple concept, but you got to do it.
Absolutely. Yes, we are actually in the leadership crisis in this world because we have overlooked the basics.
Right. We look at stuff instead of people.
Yeah, true.
It's all about people. Every problem in your life is about people.
Got it. So, please tell us one incident where your leadership ability was highly tested, and how did you overcome that challenge?
Oh, I think about 9/11. I was in charge of Disney World. I had to make a lot of hard decisions very quickly. I had to think about how we're going to maintain our productivity and profit. We lost 35% of our business that day from cancellation. It was a time when I had to figure out ways to help people and help the company at the same time, which is very difficult to help profit and help the people. And I would say I took my team into a room for weeks to work on this and to make hard decisions. So you get tested when you're under a crisis, because it comes suddenly. And you have to know what your values are, and you have to work toward doing what you've been saying all the time. We say things to people, and then a crisis shows up, and then we do something opposite or different. And so I think crisis is what tests all of us, and tested many times. I was working at Disneyland Paris. We were losing $1 million a day. We had to get involved and make a lot of changes, do a lot of things, and we had to do it with no days off. Had to work, get it done. And then hurricanes in Orlando, and 9/11, and the current situation, of the world economy, of trying to figure out how to take care of the customer, the employees, and the bottom line. It's a challenge every day, and you got to work at it, and you got to keep at it, and you've got to, as you're making all these decisions, you have to think about the people and the profit and the guests, the customer. So it's a three-legged stool: profit, customers, and employees. So it's not easy.
So definitely that was one of the most emotionally attacking situation, I would say. Coming across that particular incident is definitely not easy. So emotionally, how were you able to carry yourself and also helping others to have their emotions guarded? Because your attitude as well as your behavior is quite contagious. As a leader, you have that responsibility to hold your people together positively.
Yeah, I am. I'm well aware that I'm in a leadership position. I'm aware of that. I think about it. I'm careful what I say and do. I don't offend anybody. I'm very cool, calm, and collected. I don't get upset. I don't raise my voice to people. I just tell them the truth, and I work through the issues. I ask for people who work with me and for me. I ask for their opinion. I try to not make mistakes by getting other people's opinion, the people who do the work. I'm very good under pressure and stress, and I go home, I take a hot shower, I get a good night's sleep, and go back to work, and I keep physically fit. I think that's one thing. You need to feel good if you're going to be under stress, and I feel good. I feel strong. I think most people procrastinate because they don't feel well, either physically or mentally. They didn't get enough sleep, they drank too much, they ate too much, they ate too late. Many reasons or we have a relationship problem, so we're having an emotional problem with maybe our wife or somebody else or somebody at work, and it affects your brain. So I try to stay positive. I try to tell the truth. When I have a problem, I deal with it right away. I don't let it stick. I don't let it stay. If somebody's not performing, I talk to them right away. I don't wait 3 days. I get it off my mind. I get to it. I think doing things quickly and get to the point, and don't let things, just like you would your children. When they do something wrong, you take care of it right then. Right then. Yeah. Your mother doesn't wait for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You've got to know what your responsibilities are, and that you have difficult decisions to make every day. And that once you get in the habit of doing this, it's easier. Once you get in the habit of, and I do it because I want to be trusted. I don't want people saying Lee didn't do anything. He lets people do whatever they want. He doesn't follow up. No, it's my reputation too. And it's a responsibility. If you don't do it, you're irresponsible. And that's what you have to think about it. If you can't have hard conversations and make hard decisions, don't have children and don't become a leader, because that's very hard, and you got to do the hard things. That's it. And you've got to recognize that, and you've got to accept that. And if you can't do that, then you should not be in one of those positions.
I agree. Great. So finally, your advice to people, how can they practice leadership regardless of their position at any organization or even at home?
I would say be the kind of leader that you hope your children have when they go into the workforce.
Awesome.
I mean, treat people the way you want your children treated when they go to work. And I think we all know what we want. And it's like a nurse in a hospital. Treat the patient like it's your mother or dad or your sister or your daughter, and start treating people better. You don't have to intimidate people. There's no upside to making people upset. There's none. I mean, it's usually the people who do that are insecure. They don't believe in themselves. And macho men wanting to be, I'm powerful. And also insecurity. I have insecurities too, but I know that my influence matters. When you're the boss or the parent, your influence is everything, and your actions. Be careful what you say and do, because you're being judged by everybody every second of the day. And if you want to leave a legacy, then your legacy is all you can take with you and leave behind. What kind of legacy you want? That you were a good teacher and responsible and a good parent, or that you were a jerk? That's just what I think about every day. I want to help people. I don't want to make people's lives more miserable, and we need to do that more, and we need to think about our own actions. A lot of people are not very good leaders because they don't know any better. They don't know. Nobody's showed them. They've grown up in a dysfunctional family. They're insecure. They are greedy. They, all these things come into play. So you got to think about, who are you? Not what you do for a living, but who are you? Are you a person I can trust or not? Period. And do you have influence? Are you using it in the right way or not? And if you have a discussion with yourself, you can answer those questions.
Wow, that's fantastic. So at last, what is that one question you would like me to ask, and what would be your answer? So you are the questioner and you are the answer.
Oh, let's see. I guess people ask me all the time why I keep working.
Wow.
I'm retired. I'm 77 years old. And my answer is because people appreciate what I do for them. And we all like to be appreciated. We all like to be recognized. We all like to be encouraged. And the world needs that right now. So the reason, I also tell them, the reason I speak and do these things is because people clap. They appreciate me, and I like that because I'm insecure.
Wow. Brutally honest.
When I play golf, nobody claps, so I don't do that. Yeah. So it's what I enjoy doing. That's why I do it. I don't have to do it, but I do, and I go all over the world doing it. And people appreciate it, and everybody wants to know about Disney, so I get invited a lot. But go out and help other people. That's all I can tell you. Just that I know we all have problems, but a lot of us have positions where we can help. We don't have to make people's lives work.
Oh, wow. I think it is some great food for thought. Mr. Lee, thanks so much for talking with us today.
Happy to be with you. Congratulations on your work, and keep in touch.
Definitely, sure.
Last but never the end, buckle up to get inspired and more realistic thoughts from Venkatesh. Make sure to subscribe now, just so you don't miss any episode. If you think this podcast has inspired you and may help someone you care, please share. Leading self and others.